Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Jason Allen. I'm a realtor and real estate planner based in Palm Springs, California. And on every Monday, I like to do a report for different areas in the valley, or sometimes if there are 5 Mondays in the month, I'll do the entire valley as a consolidated report. Today, it's Palm Springs. So I'm going to bring up the data, and while I'm doing that, I'm just going to tell you we are in the glorious weather that we are known for. And you're ever thinking of coming? This is the time of year to do it. So we are definitely in an evolving market. Let me just start by saying pre-pandemic, I was often shocked at how inexpensive, high quality single family dwellings and condos were. We had never fully recovered from the Great Recession. Once the pandemic hit and people realized they could be poolside, taking a Zoom call, or simply escaping an urban environment where the threat of COVID felt more intense, we saw a huge demand for our inventory. And what we're slowly doing is returning to what is a more, shall we say, predictable cycle in our market. Typically in the summer, we see sales, and those sales are to people who are planning to be here full time. And I mean that because if you're out looking at homes in 120-degree temperatures, well, you're serious about buying a home. Now, when we get into the season, we see more people entering our open houses, making appointments and so forth. These tend to be people who may be here for the full year, but are more likely snowbirds. So our market changes, but overall, we just simply have less demand, and that is pushing prices down. Why do we have less demand? Pandemic world is essentially passes. Now, that's not to say there aren't still people suffering from COVID and that sort of thing. It's merely most people have gone back to their day-to-day lives. In addition to that, many businesses are now requiring people to return to the office. So there are fewer people that have the luxury of living where we are. And then the third thing, of course, is the elephant in the room. We have interest rates that are substantially higher than they were during COVID. Money simply costs more. On a historic basis, money is a little bit more expensive than our target of 5, 6, low 7%. So with that being said, let's dive into the numbers. In Palm Springs, I'm going to first focus on single family dwellings. And if you've never joined me before, this is typically where I start. Unit sales, and this is comparing October of 22 to October of 23. Single family dwelling home sales are down by 5%. Not a whole lot, frankly. Our median sales price is down 9%. That's almost 10. On $1 million house, that's $100,000. $1 million house, in this case, it's technically 90, but we're rounding up. Inventory is up, and you can see here we're kind of hitting a high water mark. This particular chart only goes back 2 years. So we're at the higher level of 2 years. Now, October of 22 saw another high level. Again, speaking to our cycle, November is when we start to see most of our snowbirds arrive. So agents are typically eager to get homes on the market in October, so they're ready to rock when folks start to roll into town. Days on market, 53. That's down from last year, so we are seeing some things pick up. Sales price to list price. These are homes that, this is the average, and on average, home sellers, single family home sellers are getting 96% of asking. Now that means that some properties are going above and some are going below. In this case, there's been at least one price reduction, and we're now down to 94%. And as I mentioned, because we have so many at or above, 25%, so 1 out of 4 single family dwellings that are selling are going at or above asking price. It's buoying this number. Month supply, we are at the threshold of tipping into a buyer's market. We say 6 months of inventory. That's just a smidge under 6 months of inventory. It's up 75% from October of 2022. Median sales price per square foot is up from last year, believe it or not. And essentially what that means is, okay, well, let's go back to the median. Median is the price right in the middle. So of the 19 homes, 1,075,000 was right in the middle, half sold above that, half sold below that. This is true for the price per square foot. What we're seeing is that smaller houses are coming on. That's why your sales price per square foot is buoyed a little bit, just a smidge. 26%, so roughly 1 in 4 houses sold within 30 days of listing, basically half sold within 60 days, and then more than 3/4 sold in 90 days. And above 84%, those are homes that are either still on the market, the seller reached their point of not selling anymore, or the listing expired, and so the agent lost the opportunity to sell that home. I'm going to flip over to condos. I'll go through this a little bit quicker since you have an understanding of each of these categories. Unit sales, 29, so we're down 20%. Median sales price is up 22%. Inventory is up by half again over last year at this time. Days on market is 61 days, 98% for the of a sales to list price for those folks that probably are in this bucket that sold within the first 30 days. And then those that had at least one price reduction are getting 95, almost 95.5% of their full asking price, whatever that lands at. Sales above list price, 41%, so that's significantly up. What you're seeing here is a balance or a seesaw between sellers that are becoming much more realistic about the market and asking a realistic price versus those that maybe are still connected to a COVID era price. And so those that are pricing correctly, well, they're selling. So to see 41% going at or above list price tells me there are a lot of buyers in the marketplace. We have about 3.5 months supply of inventory, so still a seller's market, even though the inventory is up about twice what it was last year. You can see here where we are and where we were last year. So we have more for buyers to choose from. And then the median sales price per square foot is up. I'll end with this chart from Christian and Shauna Bailey at Chicago Title. You can see that according to their chart, we are still in a seller's market in Palm Springs. Median sales price, this takes all numbers, and you can see where houses are pushing this up. It's not a true picture. But as I come down here and I go into market segments, I look at this, and each week it's the same thing. The bottom 3 quartiles are humming along. We've not had dramatic changes since roughly June of 22. However, the high end is taking a beating. If you've got a home that's $1.5 million and above, or maybe $1.8 million and above, you are seeing much longer time on market. You are seeing a lower return. And frankly, many of those folks are simply pulling their houses off the market unless they absolutely have to sell. And if you're in the market for that sort of a house, time to wheel and deal. Here are the numbers by market segment. They technically consider 2,895 the high end as a median price, but I'm looking at, say, 1.5 and above, because the 2.8 is a median, so half or below that, coming up to the 1.5 down here. That's everything. Pardon me. That's everything I have for today. As always, you are welcome to call me with specific questions about your buying interests or your selling interests in any one of the cities that I service in the Coachella Valley. My number is 760-325-1900. Jason Allen signing off. Have a great week.